Easy, how are we?
Shawnee, I forgot what a hangover felt like.
from one extreme to another. What's going on? I mean, I assume you're literally just back from Westport. You look like you were in dire need of a nap, son. So, how'd you get on over the weekend?
My drinking game was probably the best it's been in months, but, but I didn't do the event.
Oh, okay. And here's us titling this episode Westport 2023 review, and all you got to talk about is a drinking game. So, you must be still. I know we this is the third, fourth week now after your Ironman. Still feeling effects, or are you just like, you know what? Nah, no interest in this one.
Yeah, I just think I think after the Ironman, I'm still haven't quite shaken the illness I got just afterwards, and I was just looking at the temperatures, and it was just like 2 degrees on the morning of. Now I was just being soft. Let's
Right.
put it out there. I was being soft, but I knew the lads would have dug into me, which they did, and I probably would have ended up doing it. So I was one step ahead. I didn't even bring my bike. So
can't do it too long with a bike.
I definitely wasn't doing it. So it was look, I have to say, when I was dropping them in that morning and I had to de-ice the car, I was like, do you know what? I'm kind of glad I'm not doing this one as well. I think though, okay, physically I'm absolutely fine. I'm actually looking forward to getting back into training this week, and it's practice what you preach for us, Sean, because we did say there is a fitness there, don't lose it. It has been 3 weeks. I haven't put on a pair of shoes. I've walked, but I haven't done anything. So it's time to get back into the gym, just to get back into enjoying exercise, lifting weights, just do something different for a while. And still add in the run, swim, cycle, but not having to do 2 training sessions a day. But for me, I think the mental element of just being tough, I suppose, is gone. It's the body, we made certain deals and promises to each other over the Ironman. I think it's like, listen, I know your game. You made the deals. You can't go back on them things. So, but all in all, I think we were trying to figure out, COVID has kind of messed us up in how many times we've done the event, but we reckon it's about 4 or 5, 2018, 19, in around there. But I have to say, it is phenomenal. It is absolutely amazing. The crowd that come down. Now, if I was to give recommendations to anyone who is considering doing the Sea to Summit, I would take the Friday off work. It is a long drive. If you were coming from Cork or Dublin or Belfast or wherever it is you're coming from, Donegal even, it is a bit of a drive down. So just take the Friday, get down, because when you get down late, you're putting in your bike late in the dark. It's cold. So it was the first year it actually didn't rain when we were putting in our bikes. Yeah, well, I wasn't putting in mine, but I dropped them down.
It well.
But you know, like, we were down there at 4:00. You know, we were well ahead of the crowd, just dropping in our stuff. Then we had the evening to actually just chill out and enjoy the fact you're in Westport, enjoy the B&B, you know, and actually just enjoy that evening, because you paid for the day, you paid for the privilege. So it's just to get the full experience of the weekend, because it's not a bank holiday. I would recommend take a Friday and get down there early and enjoy a little bit of the night before, I suppose. It is a phenomenal participation event.
What do you mean by participation event now? Because that's you put that word in there for a reason.
We talk about how little training we did and you do a marathon, but most people at the start line of a marathon have trained to be there.
Yeah.
An Ironman, they've trained to be there. With this one, the amount of people I chatted to, they're like, Jays, I've done nothing. I haven't ran in months. And they're just there because it's really attainable. And the day is so nice. So depending on the level you want to do, either the Supreme or the Spirit, you are with the crowd. So the first run is a 4K. Even if you're just walking and running that, it's really, really achievable. The cycle on the Spirit is 8 to 9 to 10K, whatever it is, out to Crowpatrick. And then once you're on Crowpatrick, you're just on a hike with your friends. Is essentially what it is. Now, it's a tough climb, a really, really tough climb, but you can only go as fast as the hundreds of people in front of you. So you're not racing up the hill when you're in the later waves. You're just walking behind the pace that's been set in front of you.
You've no choice unless you put yourself up to the very, very start of the first wave to
Exactly.
race this. So it is narrow. Then you can't pass people out.
Yeah, it's quite narrow, and not only that, as you're going up, people are coming down, so you kind of have to give way to them. So you'll be standing in, letting people pass. So it is essentially a very busy hike. So if you're looking to race it, you need to be lead person wave 1 of Spirit, lead person wave 2 of Supreme. Like you even in wave 2 Supreme, you get away with it because there's less people doing it. But as you go through the waves in the Spirit, you're in the back waves. You are with the pace of the 1,000 or so people who are going ahead of you.
Are the waves very short then? Like how long the next one starts? Like the other way, Quest, I think there's
5
a good 15. Oh, 5 minutes. Yeah, Quest like 15, 20, I want to say in between. And so even if you're in later waves, I suppose that the Quest is different. And I know it's still hiking in different parts as well, but you can still pass people out if you need to. But it sounds like it's different reasons, as you just said a second ago, a participation event.
It is a participant, and it is about just getting people. And like I think, I'm not from Westport, but my understanding is everyone in the area looks forward to this, whether they've trained or not. It's Sea to Summit is November, and we're all going out afterwards, and it's a great night. It's a great occasion. It's a good excuse to get out and be active, and it really is phenomenal, and it is a very achievable race. So people who are looking at the Quest series or they're looking to get into an adventure race, it is a phenomenally great value for money event. And if you want to push, you can. Let me tell you, there are some serious athletes take part in this race on the Supreme level and Spirit level. Their times are absolutely phenomenal, but they're wave 1. They are racing. If you're not on wave 1, you're not racing.
You're a day out.
You're on a day out. And I have to say, like, every year we sign up to Supreme because you're like, sure, why would you do the smaller? I'm like, you know what? I think I'm just going to go back doing the Spirit ones and just go and enjoy the walk with my friends, like. But the lads will never. The lads are always Supreme. Go suffer for 3.5 hours, 4 hours, and then be wrecked that night. So it's
makes the points taste nicer.
But like, they will never give me credit, but I'll give myself MVP. It was cooking dinners, holding their warm clothes at the finish line, drove them in and out. Like, someone has to hold the jumpers, So without me, they would have had to drive their own car. So anyway, I'm taking full credit. Should have given me a medal for it. But the event itself is amazing. If you were going for the Supreme level, a lot of people don't train as well, but they learn some harsh lessons. So going up Crowpatrick, it is a steep climb. Unless you are used to mountains and trails of climbing, your glutes are going to burn. Your lower back is going to hurt. If you're not particularly conditioned for it or using it, and this is where people get caught out. After that, the climbing section for the first 12K, it is quite substantial climbs. Like, and I would say over a couple of the cycles I did, they are some of the toughest hills. Like for me, the challenge is do not get off the bike going up the hill. They're them kind of hills where a lot of people are walking up the hill. But again, really, really glute heavy when you are climbing those hills. And they're already tired, haven't been up the mountain. So it is, although it's quite a short race, it's only about 60K in its entirety. It is quite intense. Like the cramping that you can get and the kind of muscle soreness because you're using parts. Like, you would not use the same body parts doing Ironman Portugal as you do doing the Supreme level Quest, because you're not climbing Crowpatrick. You're not taking on a mountain, a lot of a hike essentially, where you're nearly on your hands and feet going up in different sections.
Okay, I'm with you now.
It is steep. You're working so different than you would if you were training around Newbridge or here, or you're going for a run in the canal. Like, even if you're into the Dublin Mountains, like some of them don't compare to climbing Crowpatrick and the loose rock and all of that. So like, that all adds into what the body has to do to stabilize to get up. So it really does add in a new dimension to it. And it is a fabulous event. It is a fabulous adventure race, and it sells out every year. I have to say, the night after it is probably one of the best nights out every year to have on the calendar. Even for me, not doing the event, there was no way I wasn't taking part in the celebration, because it is absolutely brilliant. It's just so much fun. It is really so much fun, and everyone's in good form. And for anyone who's been around the events and triathlons and marathons, and you get that friendly atmosphere from athletes, that continues into the bar. That continues towards the nightclub, and everyone is just in good form. And for us, it's just a great weekend. 12 of us in a house, most of us participating, some of us not. But it's absolutely fantastic. And for those looking to get into an adventure race, it's definitely one. It is 100% one to put into the calendar. I think it's the first or second Saturday of every November.
Would you say the sprint is a nice entry level one, or you need to do it because of the hills and stuff? And I know about you, but I know when I'm like taking on those kind of hills, my lower back just be at me like no tomorrow. Even the likes of run the line and stuff that we get steep enough, it's like, oh, lower back's gonna be fun. And after this one, I need to get more training on them. Do you think that? I know you said there, like people do no training and still tackle them. Do you think you will get away with it, even though it's not something we should be saying the podcast? But let's be real, there's definitely events we've done where you get away with it. Just go Spirit first time, or hey, go Supreme first time, or just straight into
100% go Spirit, because at the end of the day, like the finish line is bizarre, and I'm going to be honest with it. They have a guy, an announcer, to 2 times there. People are crossing the line, and it's not like people were crossing the line when I was there on the Supreme, who are probably 20, 25. I missed the winner by a couple of minutes parking the car, but it was like someone who's 20th in the Supreme was crossing the line, like phenomenal time. And I'm like, my God, I'm blown away. And no one cares. Because Mary has done the Spirit. She's crossing the line, and she's from Newport, and all of her friends are there going, go on, Mary. And poor Sean Coffey, who's coming in, is just like, all right, there's my medal, off I go. And that's it. There's no airs and graces about it, but it's really friendly. The volunteers are amazing, and everyone just knows, like, sure, just go and enjoy yourself, and we'll see you later. Do you know, like, if I could sum it up in a way, it's if you want to work hard, you can. And if you want to just have fun and you know, like, I don't want to talk it down. But you know the way people do run amok. Most people don't train for run amok, or like, you know, you're just going to experience something. I would say train, you know, and do something, you know, and do be active. Of course, we always say that, but the likes of, it's just really welcoming. It's just nice. It's a nice distance for that beginner to just get their teeth into something, and it is a challenge. Like Croagh Patrick is no joke. Everyone forgets every year. It's like, oh, then they're climbing again. They're like, oh my God, I hate this mountain.
But there's no emphasis on time, is what you're saying. Like the likes of a run amok or a Hellenbach, like when someone does Hellenbach, you don't say, oh, what time's you Hellenbach in? It's like, you got Hellenbach done, because
100%.
the amount of queues stuff for the obstacles, it can be the same for this one unless you are doing Supreme. And the only people that care about that are probably other people who are doing Supreme, because they're racing against you in a way. They can have that different conversation as someone that's just there to enjoy it. And when you out that night, did you not feel like, you know, all the conversations, we could have done this, or at that bit of FOMO at start of the night anyway, before a few drinks?
There was a few people like, oh, did you do the race today? And I was like, no.
Did you wear your Iron Man pajama top to this event?
No, I didn't. They were like,
did you have your bag with you?
Why didn't you do it? I don't know how to tell you this, but I did an Iron Man. But
piece of shit.
No, I didn't.
That's right up there with, do you know who I am?
I did it in like just under the cutoff, so I'm a legend. But no, it is just one of those events. But even the support, like, it's not even about, like, people are delighted for people who did it, but we were even there's a couple of the lads were competitive against each other, and I was like, well, what time did you do it in? And they were like, ooh. And we were going on checking the results from previous years to be like, right, my best year was 2019 and you have to beat this. You know, like, but no one knows. And they cross the line, they're like, what time did I get? I don't know.
Like, take a medal straight to the pub, get cleaned up, and away you go.
Yeah. And
that's good though.
It is. No, it's absolutely brilliant. And that's why I'm saying it is for people who are enjoying doing a slow run or walk run. Time is irrelevant, and everyone is in the same boat, that they're just there to be out with their friends. It's a good adventure race that is a good distance, and they offer both if you want to go full difficult, and it is difficult, or you want to go with a medium difficulty. and enjoy yourself and take it at your own pace and take it at the pace that's been set for you by the people who are in front of you. It's absolutely amazing race. We sign up for it every year. I am going to miss it next year. I don't know if I'll be flying back from Dubai to take part in the Westport Seat to Summit, but it is one for those who have completed a marathon and are looking to probably try something different. It's definitely one to add into the calendar. It's absolutely amazing, and well organized. They've done it a few years now, and it's fairly well run.
I suppose it's one of those where we talked before about not probably getting back to races too soon after a marathon, whereas that one you're still keep the body ticking over towards the next challenge, but at the same time you're not really punishing yourself by going flat out on sprints or anything like that. You can, while the hike can be tough, it's probably not as demanding on the body in the days or so afterwards or getting through it because you did a marathon. Just hike it and just be with your friends and be like, hey, we'll get through this together, or whatever. Do you recommend then that? I suppose obviously just so many people listening to this that live a lot closer to Westport than we do, but I suppose more so in this side of county or country, is it one of those where you kind of need to have a good gang of you doing that and bring the night out and afterwards?
I suppose it's like anything. Like it's would you just drive to Westport to do this event? No, because then in that case you're probably serious,
Yeah.
And if you're serious, then you're competing, and then you don't really care about all the extras. But if you're looking for fun, you're gonna rope in a friend. Like, who shows up and does run amok on their own?
Yeah, that's yeah.
And I'm sorry if you're listening and you do, but just ring me or something the next time. Don't do that. That's sad. But it's it is one of those events where you start with people and you continue out in the course with other people you don't, and you chat and you giggle, and then you finish and you all wait for each other, and then you load into the cars, get the bikes, have a nap, eat, and then we're in on the beer. Like it is just a brilliant night, and a good slagging and good laughing. And then obviously what I like about having a couple of people with you, and if you don't run it together, is to be able to go through the post-mortem. And that is the best part, because we still tell stories from the year before about different parts. And do you remember when that year, and oh yeah, I remember that. That's what it's all about. And that's why I would recommend do it with a friend, do it with a partner, do it with someone. For me, it's unfortunate Katie has moved over to Dubai because she had signed up for this, and this was going to be one we were going to do together. And that was one I was kind of like, now the marathon we were hoping to do, but this one was definitely one, regardless, we'd be on the start line going, all right, see you in a while, and take on something to get and have that shared experience. And it's not train all summer just to do Seat to Summit, but some guys were in phenomenal physique shape, did phenomenal times. I'm not trying to take it away from them. I'm just trying to highlight to people, you can have 2 different days. You can have a day of max effort red line, or you can have a day out with friends with some exercise, with a challenge, and a real challenge that I feel is achievable at all levels. And it's absolutely brilliant. Absolutely a great day.
It seems to be like one step above what Ray Kerry would be, where that's absolutely zero. Obviously the challenge, but like 0 times at all. Like stop for however long you like, stop when or whatever. At the same time, you still got to keep moving forward. This, but then a step or 2 under what, and then correct me if I'm wrong, because I haven't done these kind of events. What a triathlon or something might be, where you feel like no matter what, you have a race number, you are racing. It's somewhere in between.
Yeah, it's somewhere in between, and it is like a quest. To get me,
what's the difference?
It's cheaper and more fun. Like it's just way more fun. It's like
preface that though, you had a very bad day at the office when you did Quest Glendalough. Do you not look at this now with the like rose tinted glasses going, all your mates having a great night out after the last couple of years doing this one Westport, whereas Glendalough, if you were to list your worst list of events and how you ever got on, I think number 1 is Glendalough. Number 1A is Glendalough in the hills. Number 1B is Glendalough when you're down the bottom of the hill. And like Glendalough, some of the segments take over the top 5 of how you got on that day doing Quest Glendalough. Is it a case of that, or what is it?
Yeah, but they also charged me 130 or 140 quid for that experience as well.
It's
So
a beautiful hoodie. And
so
the medal was nice too. You can't take that away from, and they did do it well. Now, I know I haven't done Westport. I've only done West End a lot. Yes, it is a lot of money, but I did enjoy it.
I'm not trying to show Quest. Quest is actually a very, very well run event. I will do Glendalough again. There's redemption to be done there, even though I don't care that there's a time, but there's an element of the challenge of Quest as well. That's something different, because to me it's racing.
Yeah.
There are people who are doing it, but it's just that 70% are racing, 30% are just getting around with a friend. Whereas I'd say in Westport, it's the opposite. 70% are enjoying the company of their loved ones and whatever else who they're training with, and 30% are racing. So now, and that's probably harsh. Look, people can give out, but that's the way I see it. That's the way I've ever done the event. I have not cared. I just gone around so I can go on the beer with my friends, and it's a great scheduled day in a calendar that happens every year. And already the lads know the house we're staying in, everyone's booking a ticket, and that's what keeps people coming back. And it is brilliant. Whereas Quest, I don't know if it do it every year. It's because it's a race. It's how is my training plan looking? Am I going to be taking on a Quest series, or am I going to be doing it? It's because it is, for me, it's like Westport is end of season, Quest is start of season. So it's April, it's May. So to compare them is so different.
Less people are rocking up to the starting line of Quest going, I don't know if I'm ready for this. As in, like, I don't know if they've done enough training, whereas more people seem to rock up to start a Questport going, done no training.
Yeah. And that was, I don't know how many times I've had that conversation with a lot of people. And that's not to say it was just nobody was fit doing it. Like, there was a lot. It's just, I noticed in 10 conversations, a lot of people going, Jays, I've done nothing in 3 months and here I am. And, and some people are off the back of the Dublin Marathon. Like Ozzy was off the back of Louise Dorn was off the back of the marathon. People had been out and had a big day only a week and a half ago, So, but it's end of season for a lot of people, for triathlon, for everyone, it is just an excuse to either see if you're still maintaining, as we said, into the winter, or you're just like, come on, we go and have a good time.
And it seems to work because, I mean, like you said, it's sold out. Well, I look at something, I go, why is that not on earlier in the year? But to your point there, it sells out, everyone's good crack. And I think, I could be wrong, I probably should research beforehand. I think the Westport Marathon itself could be like April, May that year. Isn't it April that year?
Yeah.
So they have it spread out perfectly, 6 months almost to the, away from, I know it was a little bit 7, but still, like, it's still opposite ends of the season spectrum.
And that's why, like, with the Quest, like, they're not trying to compete with all the other events of the year. Like, is it cold? Yeah, it was pretty cold dropping the lads off. When you're defrosting the car, dropping them down, it's like, whoa, this is miserable. But that's just for me, the heated seats.
You're a fair weather athlete, though. You've said that 20 times in the podcast.
I am a fair weather athlete. I'd rather the heat than the cold. It's just so different. Like, you're not competing with triathlon seasons, even Ironman, just unless you're going out to the Middle East for August, or you're into the Southern Hemisphere Ironman now. Like, it's just totally out of the calendar, and that's why you can get all these athletes and people. And in fairness, there is a lot of people that know 10 weeks out, see someone's coming up, and they go and they climb the Reek, and they, who are in the locality do take it very, like, serious, and they give it what it deserves. So I'm not trying to take away from people who put in effort. I'm just saying, if you want to chalk off an adventure race that also comes with a weekend away with a very friendly crowd and a very well run event, Westport Sea to Summit is definitely one to add into the calendar. And you can do both. You can push, or you can just enjoy yourself and enjoy the night out, get the access into the nightclub, and all of that is part of this deal. And it's absolutely brilliant. And it's like being surrounded by all these athletes who are in good form, tend to be good natured, and then you're all in a nightclub together with a few drinks, and it's absolutely hilarious, and it's great fun. And the bar, it's just a great town. It is a bit of a drive home today, not the nicest, but and Napa's due, and I didn't even do the race. I don't know what I'm giving out about, but it's but it is brilliant. It is absolutely brilliant. And then again, now it would be a good introduction. If I was looking to do Quest in April, I would consider Sea to Summit, see how I get on, see how I like my bike. You know, like, because you're never too far away from assistance. You're not going so far away. Like when you're stuck, if you get a puncture up in Glendalough, up in the hill, like it's you're a long way away from help and assistance. You know, like it's a little bit different than that, but it's a great way to introduce yourself. And then come January, you're like, okay, what's the adventure race season? Where can I go now? And that would be the way I would look at it. It's really, really good. I can't speak highly enough of it. And it's for those who are just pounding pavements and running marathons and want to try something different. Like, there's people doing it on tricycles, never mind road, but like your bike can be rented, borrowed, BMX, you name it, because you're only going on the shorter distance, 8 to 10 kilometers, and the same route back. You just cycle back the way you came and run the 4K, and then you're home. You know, so it's not that you have to have a good bike, and you know it's great to have a good bike and a fast bike, but again, you don't have to go through massive expense to take part in this race. You can beg, borrow, steal, because again, all your friends will be finished the season and you can borrow a bike. So it's really, really good and really well run.
Yeah, it's a good time of year to try out different things, I suppose. That's how I got into, I'm not doing it this year, but like Run the Lines on next weekend, and good luck to anyone listening that's doing that. It's a phenomenal trail run, and you know, get like the marathon could be the end of the season for some people, or it could be the opportunity to go, okay, what do they get on with adventure race like Westport, or a trail run like Run the Line? I think Dublin Mountain Running Club are doing Run Glen Cullen in a week or two after that, 26th or something as well. And obviously there's still some events going on, like Clontarf do a half marathon, and my personal favourite I want to do is some sort of Santa or reindeer run this year. Just hop in a Santa suit, because then I've got the excuse why I haven't got a sub 25k, because the Santa suit to held me back, not the lack of training after the Dublin Marathon.
Yeah, and look, it is, and again, there's a lot of other things then for people to switch their focus to Donnelly 50k and stuff. So you know, like there's a lot there afterwards, and it is a good tester, and it's absolutely phenomenal. And look, it's something different, and do you know what? It's nice to not be talking about times, and nice to not be talking about power and how did you get on with this, and what's the game plan, and what nutrition you got. It's just like, I'm going on. I have stuff in the bag. You have a bag in your back with God knows what. You know, like it is brilliant. It is brilliant. It's absolutely phenomenal. And it's, unfortunately, it will be a hiatus for me for a couple of years, but it will be something to look forward to come back to doing. And it's a great way for us as friends as you get a little bit older. It's sad in a way that you don't see each other the same. Like, I haven't seen a lot of guys I trained with and have such respect for. I haven't seen them since last year, November, in Westport.
Yeah,
it's amazing, and it's just a great way to link in with them, and just to say, you know, there's where you know, my friend I haven't seen in a long time. You don't talk all the time. You know, you're not in that circles, but it's just nice to know that you're there to have a bit of fun, slag each other, and then go see us next year. So it was a little sad for me saying goodbye to a few of them, because I know it'll be the 2 or 3 years before I see them again, you know. So
yeah,
it was a little bit different this time, and all the more reason not to do it, you know.
One last time, not seeing him 2-3 years. Yeah, I just stay in the sideline and give you abuse and throw your warm clothes at you. I'll be the good guy in the car, because next year you won't have me, and you'll be finished the finish line going, where's my clothes? How am I getting back to the house? How am I getting ready for this? And just people will miss you all the more. I see what you're really up to.
I have to make myself feel like I'm indispensable, but really, no, they'll trade me in straight away.
More likely expendable. So I mean that's pretty much it on my end. Are you all set for Dubai, or good to go in a couple of weeks?
We are flying out. I'm in the process of, part of the reason I didn't want to do it as well, I would have had to rebuild my bike.
And that went so swimmingly for you the last time.
Yeah, so instead of trying to build it, I actually think I'm just going to box it rather than taking it apart again. And the bikes I have to arrange them to be shipped out, and the turbo trainer is being shipped out, and a few other things. So one of the things about the hobby is it's very expensive to take your hobby into a different country, but it's a couple of triathlon clubs out there. They're looking forward to it over the winter, because the winter is actually when they come into their own, because the temperatures are in the mid 20s up to 30s, and it's achievable and it's nicer, and you can take advantage of all the cycle tracks that they have purpose built and the running tracks that are purpose built. So it's something I'm looking forward to. I am looking forward to that little bit of change. And yeah, it's becoming very real. It is becoming very, very real and very, very quick. But the cold walk from nightclub waiting for a taxi, I was like, you know what? I can't wait.
It got cold over the past week and it has put me off going for a run. I'm like, I can get back used to this gym stuff. I started doing chin-ups and stuff again. I wasn't as cold inside. I'm like, the effort going back outside, but I will get there. Get there.
Me,
but
I've no shame. I'm going to K-Leisure tomorrow and I'm going to gym it and I'm running on a treadmill, and you will not see me running outdoors till I'm in Dubai. That is it. I'm done. It's too cold. I'm just done with it.
Woolly hat season it is. Once in the first one out of the way, I'll be right back at it. But woolly hat season, we're back into swimming things again. But you know, the cold weather, I forget every year, because I got 1 or 2 in before the marathon. It's like, I'll stick on the jumper because it's cold out there. I'll stick on something. I do this every year, and I know I'm going to do this next week. That's why I'm saying out loud to make sure I don't do it. I always put on way too many layers, and with a kilometer in, I'm like, I am too warm. I'm sweating. I'm dying. I want this to end. And it's just like, Sean, just get a quick warm up in the house, and you'll do a couple of push-ups and stuff as well. So when you're outside, you're not as cold, and then you'll warm up into it after the first kilometer. It's just that first kilometer is just too hot, too cold, and getting in. But once you're at that kilometer, it's always grand. Like, you're just like, I was doing a couple of things outside, and those sweating, those farm work, and I had the bunny ears up on that one. I was going a bit of logs and stuff. Next thing I know, I'm in a t-shirt. I'm like, it's actually not that cold out. And then like 10 minutes, like after I was done, I had to go back outside 10 minutes later. I had a couple of layers. I'm going, oh my God, I'm freezing again. But it's just getting the layers right on that cold weather training.
Yeah, or else just commit to go and layer up and sweat the bejesus.
Pure goggins.
Get that real warm weather training feel. But it is. Look, well done to everyone who can keep it going. For me, it's time to get into the gym. It's time to work on strength and conditioning and start falling in love with a run and a cycle and a swim again. And just, that has to start with 20-30 minutes. You know, I have to just come around to the idea of, this is actually nice again, you know. So and that's what I'd be recommending people who've just completed the marathon and are just looking at what to do next. Don't be idle. Even if you want to just take the 1 month membership just to get you up to Christmas, and just go to that gym, lift a few weights, and work on just falling in love with whatever it is you're trying to do again, and work on any injuries you may have picked up, because it's a great excuse to give yourself an hour to go to a facility where you can use a yoga mat, use a foam roller, do some stretches. That's not at home where you've other distractions, where you're actually dedicating that time to yourself. Because again, it's all about maintaining habits. If you're going to that gym for the hour, there's your hour run, there's your hour cycle, but you're still dedicating that time to you, and to your ability to move forward into the new season, and it's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, 100%. On that note, I gotta get those habits back going again myself instead of just coaching people to do it. I gotta practice what I preach.
Look at Sean taking the advice. Good man yourself.
That is an actual bombshell. I'm going to end this episode of the podcast on. Guys, thank you very much for listening. That is it for myself and Eric. Take care.
Bye.